is one of the national initiatives to have uplifting conversations about Swami and his Leelas, especially during this time. I am Suja Josiam from Dallas, and I'm the Region 10 SSC coordinator. And before we begin, I will share a slide sent to us by Shruti, who is an 11-year-old student. And I would like to share this slide with you. And this slide, it summarizes the previous 6 episodes of Sai Bhagavatam and what she got out of it. And as you can see in the picture on top, you have why fear when I am here. And also she has used different shapes for different thoughts that she's gotten out of these different talks. And I will quickly go through those. And the first one is, she says, as we journey inward, we reflect our love outwards. Technology means take knowledge. Prayer is man's strength and God's weakness. There are times of ups and downs. Enjoy the ride. Past leads to present, and which leads to presence. God is everywhere and in everyone's heart. And in the bottom it says Sai Bhagavatam, his stories, and radiating from Swami are 4 of his names: Om Shri Sai Apat Bandhavaya Namaha, Om Shri Sai Sharanagata Tranaya Namaha, Om Shri Sai Sarva Bhaya Nivarine Namaha, and Om Shri Sai Loka Raksha Parayanaya Namaha. It's beautiful picture that she sent. Thank you, Sairam. Today we have a very special speaker, Sarojini Kanagala, who has had the opportunity to interact with Swami right from her childhood. She will be sharing her journey over the years with our dearest Bhagavan and how God is our true and best friend. Many of you may know Sarojini already, but let me introduce her for those of you who don't know her. Sarojini Kanagala was born in India and earned a master's degree in English literature from Nagarjuna University. She's the eldest daughter of Mrs. Vijaya Lakshmi and Professor Anil Kumar. Professor Anil Kumar is very well known in Sai circles as Bhagwan Sri Satya Sai Baba's translator, where he translated live from Telugu to English. Sarojini grew up in a devout family and naturally imbibed that atmosphere. She's a certified Montessori teacher with several years of experience where she taught a peace curriculum based on Swami's human values. She was also an SSC teacher for several years. Sarojini authored a book on spirituality in Telugu titled Sai Spandana, or Sai's Divine Response, for Swami's 85th birthday. Also for Swami's 85th birthday, she and her husband Shyam compiled a book, United Souls of America for Sai, with articles contributed by many individuals from the USA. For Swami's 90th birthday, she co-authored a book along with her husband titled Faith, Hope, and Love, a personal journey from I to I, that is the little I to the big I, a story of transformation. With Swami's grace, she's currently working on another book based on Swami's teachings and personal experiences. As a token of gratitude to the Divine Master, she seeks to be involved on several fronts, inspiring the love and light of the Divine in her own humble way. Please welcome Sarojini. Sairam, Sarojini.
Sairam, Sujan. Sairam, your brothers, sisters, and children. Thank you all for being here. I offer my loving pranams at the lotus feet of our beloved Swami. Thank you, Aparna, for giving me this blessed opportunity to remember our beloved Swami and his Leelas. As we are all caught in these uncertain, challenging times, it is pertinent to remember Bhagwan's divine assurance. Swami had given in his discourses and he wrote in Telugu poems. Vishwamellada vyaptiyai velasinatti, the Lord that is all pervading. Bhakta janulaku prapunai baragunatti, the Lord that is near and dear to devotees. He's in their proximity. Bhakti nosagi rakshinchedu shaktimayudu. The Lord gives devotion and protection. Parthivasudu mela yettukonadu. The Lord will lift you and carry you in his hands. Sri Puttaparthi Nilayudu, the Lord of Parthi. Kapadunu mimmepudu karunakavudai. Will look after you with compassion. Chepatti mimu brochunu. He will hold your hand. Yepattuna viduvakunda elunu ninnu. He will never let go. Such is divine assurance that Bhagavan is giving to us. To derive that strength, support, guidance from him, we have to do Namasmarana, chant the name of the Lord, read his teachings, and listen to his Leelas, our glories, as these uplift our souls and melt our hearts. Inspiration is possible to anyone individually, but inspiration is made complete when all of us come together under the umbrella of Sai and pray to him, think of him, and listen to his stories.
Thank you, Sarojini. And Sarojini, you've known Swami right from childhood. So what are your childhood memories of Swami? Take us on a journey today.
All of us have our own unique and special journeys to Swami. And we've come to know of Bhagavan in the year 1972. And at that time, my sister and I were in elementary school. We had two more siblings, and they were much younger. And my mother was ill at that time. She underwent a major surgery, and we thought that she would recover after that. Post-surgery, she developed some more complications. And so my parents continued to talk to expert doctors, and she took many treatments, but nothing helped her. So during one of those hospital visits, they happened to hear these bhajans. And my mother was drawn to those melodies, bhajans. So they both went in search of that place and came to know that it was the Sathya Sai Baba Center of Guntur. And they attended the bhajans, and my mother felt a strong connection to Bhagavan. And she convinced my father to arrange a trip to Puttaparthi to see Bhagavan. My father comes from a Brahma Samaj background, and where they believe in the formless divine, or Supreme Brahman, and their focus is on social reforms and community service. My mother comes from a traditional Hindu background, but keeping my mother's health as a priority, my father agreed to this trip. And at the time, we did not know anything about Parthi. So the local devotees gave us information of how to get there. So we traveled to Parthi, and it was hard to find an accommodation. At that time, there were not many conveniences or the amenities that we have now. So we found a room, and that evening we rested, and next day morning we got up, and we were super excited and were curious to see Swami. So we went to darshan, and Swami arrived so gently from the mandir, and his serene smile and his gentle presence and his abhayhasta, our assurance, just transported us to a different space. We were young, but our hearts told us that we were in the presence of a divine master. We found Swami, we found God. And my mother received all those divine vibrations and love from Swami. And it brought a lot of healing and comfort to her. At that time, the Purnachandra Auditorium was under construction. So my father would take our younger siblings there. Swami would visit that place many times during the day, and he would talk to the daily workers, inquire about their well-being, and he would talk to the supervisors and check about the progress. He would materialize prasadam and distribute to all of them. My father would watch all of this from a distance, and he too liked Swami for his simplicity and love. So while we were in Puttaparthi, in the mornings we would go for these blissful darshans and attend bhajans. In the evening, after bhajans, my father would take us to meet these noble devotees, such as Professor Kasturi, Bhagwan's sister, Mrs. Venkamma, and Mrs. Pedabottamma, and many more devotees. So spending time in those satsangs deepened our faith in Bhagwan. So quickly our trip came to a close and we needed to come back. It was really hard for us to leave Swami and Prashant Nilayam, but we had to go, so we came back. And once we've come back, this is when we started noticing some positive changes in our mother's well-being. And she slowly and steadily gathered her strength, and she was charged, and she wanted to cook and serve the homeless every Thursday. Prior to our trip, she was unable to do any work at home. Now, on every Thursday morning, she would make food for 100 to 150 homeless. And she would take help from others. She would serve all of these people in front of the Shirdi Baba temple, which is near our home. And many other ladies, they were also inspired to see my mom, and they too joined her. So this seva continued for several years. So after we came back from Parthi, my parents enrolled us in Bal Vikas. And we had a team of teachers, but the head of the team is Mrs. Seshgiramma. She reminded us of Mother Shabari of Ramayana times. She had so much of love for Bhagwan. She used to yearn, pine for his darshan. By profession, she was a teacher. She used to spend all of her savings to reach out to the needy. We were taught Swami's teachings, how to practice these in daily life, and how to hold on to faith, and so on. And I strongly believe that the teachings that we've learned at that young age from our teachers helped us to hold on to faith, make right choices, and to live a life that is centered around Swami. So the first miracle we've seen was my mother getting back to normal, and she's recovered. Swami healed her. Om Shri Sai Arogya Pradaya Namaha. Salutations to our Sai, who conquers health. So by then my father was also drawn to Bhagwan's teachings, and he started reading, and it resonated with him. And he joined the SSSIO organization, and in many capacities he served Swami. And in early 80s, my parents took a trip to Puttaparthi. So the next morning, we were expecting a phone call from them. And we were waiting, and we didn't hear anything from them. In the mid-afternoon, a devotee called us and shared that the bus that my parents traveled met with an accident. And he didn't give any details. My grandmother was with us, and she was pretty nervous, and we were panicking. We couldn't reach our parents on the phone, and we didn't have any contact. So we didn't know what to do. We started to pray to Bhagwan. And late in the evening, my father called us, and he shared that my mother was okay and he's fine, and mother was resting. And then he shared several details about the accident. So as their bus was coming closer to Puttaparthi near Dharmavaram, and due to fatigue, the driver lost control over the wheel. And this is when the bus went and hit against a huge tree. And due to that, the windows were scattered, and my mother was seated next to a window seat. So all the glass pieces fell over her hair and face and all over her body. There were no fatalities with Bhagwan's grace, but all of the passengers were injured. And there were other buses that were going on the side of the road, so people from those buses got down and tried to help the passengers, took them to the local hospital. And within an hour, this news reached Bhagwan, and Swami had sent few vehicles to transport all these passengers, bring them to Puttaparthi, and admit them in the general hospital. So my mother was there, and Bhagwan, like a mother, sent these personal items such as towels, brushes, and toothpaste, and everything for all the passengers here. And he spoke to the team of doctors and the Sevadam group and asked them to look after their well-being. So that evening, my father gathered some strength, and he went for darshan. Swami saw him from distance and called him. And Bhagwan said, "I protected your wife. She will not have any head injuries. She'll not have any eye problems. And you were supposed to get this impact, but she saved your life, and I saved her life." This is what Swami said. And Bhagwan created a bottle filled with eye drops, and he asked my father to share it with my mother, and she should take that for 3 days, and she would be fine. And with Swami's grace, my mother recovered soon, and she never had any problems. Om Shri Sai Apat Bandhavaya Namaha. Salutations to God Sai, who saves his devotees sudden calamities.
Thank you, Sarojini, for sharing that. So you learned about service at a very early age, and also you shared how you were able to put Bal Vikas teachings into practice. Bal Vikas is what we call as SSE, or High Spiritual Education. And in both incidents that you shared, Swami has guarded and protected your mother, just like the eyelid protects the eye. So from these incidents, when you were a child, you revered Swami as a guru and God right from your childhood. So now we are going to fast forward a little bit. So now fast forwarding a few years, when you were a young adult, what were your interactions with Swami like, and what was his advice to you all?
In mid-80s, my siblings were trying their best to get into professional colleges, and with Bhagwan's grace, they got admitted into good schools. And I was in my master's. Swami called all of us for an interview. And Swami looked at my sisters and asked them, why did they want to become doctors? And they said, Swami, we want to serve. And they wanted to know what specialty they should focus on. And Bhagwan said, as long as you serve people and you reach out to them, whichever branch you take, it is fine with me, Bangal. I'm happy, I said. And suddenly his voice changed, and he looked at my brother and he said, oh, I know what is happening in these professional colleges these days. You go as students and you're single when you enter into the college. But after graduation, when you come back, you come as couples. And you are getting diverted. As students, you need to focus on your studies. Your parents trust you, and don't break their trust. Work hard, be good students, get a good name for yourself, to your family, and to Swami. You might be thinking that Bhagwan is in Puttaparthi, He doesn't know what we are doing, but you're mistaken. Swami knows everything. I'm watching you. I know whom you're talking to, who your friends are. And Swami also said, whenever your senses drag you down and you feel restless, tell yourself that you're not an animal, you're a human being, not an animal. And then he said to my brother, oh, you have some friends and you're thinking that they are your well-wishers, but be careful. Friends will come and go, Bangaru, as long as you have money in your pocket and your father is in a position and things are going on in your favor and you're successful, people will flock around you. And once everything is gone, you're helpless, you need support, nobody will be there to say goodbye. It is only Bhagavan that will be there with you. God is your best friend at all times. Swami will be always with you. That's what Swami told us.
Thank you for that. Yeah, so Swami was both sweet, kind, but yet stern when he interacted with you while you were young adults. And even when your sisters were choosing to go into a specialty in medicine, his emphasis was on service. So a lot of the advice Swami gave back then to you all as young adults is even applicable today. And so during our earlier conversations, you also shared how as a young adult, you got to experience Swami's word as truth that had an impact on you. So go ahead, please share that.
So when my brother was in engineering, he had a set of friends and they would constantly ask him to move into accounting course. They would persuade him to leave engineering. So when he was in final year, one day he came home from his college and he told my mother that he's interested in pursuing accounting and he wanted to leave engineering college. My mother was disturbed, but very patiently she explained to him that he's a high school topper, he's a brilliant student, and he really wanted to get into engineering, and he took Bhagavan's blessings, and he got admission in a good college. So she told him to continue and complete the degree, and then he can always join in accounting semester. And he was happy with that explanation. He said, fine. And he worked hard. And the exams arrived. And he was attending all the exams. And the last day, after finishing his exam, he came home. And he said the exam was really tough. And the question paper looked unfamiliar. And it had a lot of out-of-curriculum questions. So all of his classmates felt the same, and he was very much worried. And that evening, my father called us from Puttaparthi. He was there, and he wanted to speak to my brother, and he asked him a few questions, and my brother explained the situation. And that is when my father shared the message that Swami sent to us. Looks like Swami called my father that evening and told him, I know your son did not write the exam well, but the question paper was tough also. Swami will help him. My grace is there. He'll pass the test, don't worry. This is what Bhagavan said. So when my father shared this message of Bhagavan, we were really happy and we were relieved. So in 3 weeks, the results have arrived. And my brother, along with the rest of his classmates, they all failed. And they were all disappointed. For no fault of theirs, they had to pay the price. And we were also sad. And we held on to Bhagavan's feet, and we know in our hearts that Swami would definitely help him. As we were praying, within a week, the university made an announcement. And they admitted that in one of the subjects, the question paper was tough, and it had out of curriculum questions. And so they have granted grace marks to all the students. So with these grace marks, my brother and the rest of his friends, they all cleared the exam. It was a happy ending. So once Swami says something, he keeps his promises. He fulfills his promises. Om Shri Sai Satya Swarupaya Namaha. Salutations to Lord Sai, who's the embodiment of truth.
Thanks for sharing that, Sarojini. So if you have faith in Swami and do your part, Swami will take care of the rest. So Swami is the truth of all truths, and what he says is the truth. So several years later, Swami got you both married in Puttaparthi. And a few years after that, you moved to the US. It would have been really hard adjusting to a new country, a new place. And though you were physically far away from Swami, how was Swami as part of your lives during those difficult times?
Swami says, pleasure is an interval between two pains. He says pain and pleasure go hand in hand. They are the upwards and reverse of a coin. You cannot have the one without the other. And he wants us to practice equanimity during ups and downs of life. It is easy to be happy when everything around us is going pleasant. But it is tough to be lighthearted when we are subjected to difficulties and challenges. So prior to moving to the US, we were living in Bangalore, and my husband was a part of the Vrindavan Sevadal. So every Sunday, whether Bhagwan is there or not, we'll go to Vrindavan, and the volunteers would clean the entire premises, and they'll take care of the ashram area, and we'll come back. And once or twice we would go to Parthi each month, and Bhagwan is always kind. He would take our letters, he'll talk to us, and he used to call us for interviews. So his protection, his assurance was very much there, and life was beautiful. And in early 90s, we've decided to move to the US as my husband wanted to pursue further studies and take up a new career. So we've asked Swami for his permission, and Bhagwan very lovingly gave his blessings. So with his divine permission, we moved to the US, and the year was 1994. And we were in Texas, and it was in a remote area in the east side of Texas. And as we started settling down in our apartment on campus, we felt homesick, and we were like fish out of water. We were helpless. Until then, everything was comfortable. My husband had a great job, and he resigned and come here now. He's a full-time student. As he tried to apply for part-time jobs, he was denied, and they told him that he was overqualified. And my visa status didn't allow me to work. So we felt incapacitated, and we have a 4-year-old son with us. It was getting hard. We were not in a good space. And during the weekends, my husband would start packing bags, and he would always tell me, see, we have to be prepared. If we get an opportunity, we should be willing to move back to Bangalore and to be closer to Swami. And I said, okay. And we also started having second thoughts and doubts. We thought if a child keeps on crying, and the mother, to pacify the child, would give a candy or a toy just to please the child. So we thought maybe when we approached Bhagwan for his blessings, Swami, being a divine mother, he noticed our wish to pursue further education and a new career. So he gave his blessings. Now we are here. We made this decision. We cannot go back. It is simply impossible. So all we have to do is to hold on to Bhagwan's feet, hold on to faith, and take one step at a time. So during one weekend in the morning, my husband got up and he looked restless. He kept on saying, "Oh, we are separated from Bhagwan. I don't feel his love. I don't feel his presence, and life is a waste without having his darshan. And I feel dejected," he said. And I tried to explain to him that without his grace and support, we wouldn't be surviving. And I said, he's very much with us. His protection is there for us. And I randomly opened a page in Sai Satcharita, and in the paragraph, Baba says, "My devotees can never be away from my feet." And I shared it with my husband, Shyam. He read it. And he said, "I'm not satisfied with your explanation, and I need to see Bhagwan right here and now." That's what he said. And I kept quiet, and I was praying to Swami to just give him some comfort, assurance. And so to divert his mind, he turned on the TV. And there was a program going on. And suddenly we saw Vrindavan Ashram, and we also saw Bhagwan emerging out of those iron gates of Vrindavan. He gave Pada Namaskar to a devotee, and he gently walked toward the Sairam shed. And we saw the entire darshan. We were in tears, deeply moved by his grace. We were new in the country, and we just bought the TV. We didn't have a clue of program information. We didn't know the names of the channels. But we realized that distance is not a barrier for Bhagwan to reach out to his bhaktas or his devotees. At another time, I was in Puttaparthi with my son, and I wanted to attend Guru Purnima. So I reached Puttaparthi on July 5th evening, and July 6th was our wedding anniversary, and 7th is my husband's birthday. So I was in darshan on July 6th morning. Swami came to me. He smiled. He said, "Oh, Bangaru, today is your wedding anniversary, and tomorrow is your husband's birthday. Chesuko," meaning take Pada Namaskar. So when I touched his feet, he materialized vibhuti, poured in my hand, and he said, "When are you leaving?" I didn't know how to answer him. I just got here yesterday night. And by the time I wanted to reply, Swami moved forward. And so I grabbed the vibhuti. I was so thrilled that he remembered our anniversary and my husband's birthday. And I wanted to convey this message to Shyam. So I got to my parents' place and called my husband on his cell, and there was no response. And I tried to reach him on our home phone, and there was no response. And I tried to call his colleagues, and they said they were not aware. And I called our Sai friends in Dallas, and then they told me that he met with a huge accident. I was disturbed, and they said that he was hospitalized. And the next day I get a call from Shyam, and he says that a drunken driver hit him from the back, and it was a head-on collision accident. He said he was caught inside the car, and the paramedics came and brought him out. And it was Swami that protected him. He said, Swami saved my life. He said. That is when I understood the deeper significance behind Bhagwan's words. Swami says, Adavilonunna akasamuna unna. You may be in a forest, you may be flying in the sky. Pallelonunna pattanamuna unna. You may be in a village, you may be in a city. Gattu meedanunna tetanunna. You may be in the bank of the river. You may be in the middle of the sea. Madini sai ninnu maruvadeppudu. Sai will never forget you. That's what Bhagwan says. He reached out to us during the lowest moments of our lives. Over to you, Suja.
Swami responded to true yearning. So if Swami wills it, he can even show up in a living room in East Texas. And at that time, we didn't even have smart TV or internet or live streaming. So you just randomly turn on the video and you see Swami's darshan in Vrindavan. So yes, Swami definitely responded to true yearning. And so now we have Ishwarama Day coming up next week. And you were an SSC teacher. And you were also writing plays for Ishwarama Day. And you took one such play to Swami. So please share what happened.
Well, thank you for asking the question, Suja. It's a treasured experience. As you remember, it was in the year 1997. And in the Dallas Eye Center, the teachers prepared the script in the month of March for Ishwarama Day. So it's a joint effort. The teachers, the children, and parents, volunteers, the members of the center, all of them come together. And with love and dedication, they offer this program on Ishwarama Day to Divine Mother and to Bhagwan. So they prepared the script and they would give it to devotees. And the devotees, whoever were going to Parthi at that time, they would offer it to Bhagwan. At that particular time, we wanted to go. It was spring break time and we wanted to have Swami's darshan. Just wanted to go for a week. And the SSC teachers and the children, they gave us a bunch of letters and along with the script. So I carried those and we reached Vrindavan. And I was really happy to be there. And I held on to the letters and I sat in the darshan line. And I stretched my hands so Swami would notice the letters. Swami came close to me. He saw the letters, he saw me, he smiled, and he continued to walk. So I kept trying, and I realized that that was the last day of my trip. It just went by so quickly. And I didn't know what to do. And I was thinking of giving these letters to another group of devotees that came from a different state. I prayed to Swami that evening from the depths of my heart and asked him to send his blessings and love to the entire team. And I told Swami from my heart that they worked so hard. They have so much of love and devotion to Bhagwan. And Swami, please share your guidance and blessings with them. That was my prayer. So, and I also realized that there was one more opportunity I could make use of before I left Vrindavan. In those days, after the evening darshans, Bhagwan would talk to devotees in the Trai Mandir. And so sometimes Swami would ask the guest speakers to speak. And Swami also would give discourses. I was very fortunate to attend those sessions in the past. Now I wanted to make use of that opportunity to see Swami one more time. So I went inside the mandir, and Swami was inside one room, and this adjacent room was there, and all the ladies were seated there. And the ladies were whispering among themselves, and they said that Swami spoke on Madhura Bhakti of Radha the day before. I was just happy and grateful to Swami for this opportunity. So as we were all waiting, we heard the soft and gentle voice of Bhagavan. He started sharing his story, his life story from his childhood, how this light entered into Mother Ishwarama's womb, and how these musical instruments made auspicious sound, and how this Balasai had this glow around him, Tejas, and how Swami had this compassion towards the needy. He would give his share of food and clothes to people that were in need, and how he formed this Pandara Bhajan group where he composed songs, taught these songs to the children. And Swami shared this incident where his teacher got upset with him for not taking the notes, and he gave him punishment. And at the end of the class, the teacher gets stuck to the chair, and Swami reaches out to him. And Swami shared the story of giving different fruits to children from the Kalpavruksha tree. And he also shared his interest in serving people from his childhood. He joined the Scouts group, and he said at that time he was serving from dawn to dusk, and he didn't have enough of money to get food, and he just had a little bit of food, and he drank water, and he served people. And when he was at his brother's place, he was carrying water for the family and for the entire community. And one time, when Mother Ishwarama gave an oil bath, and she noticed these bruises on either side of his shoulders, she felt sad for her son. And Bhagavan assured her that it was his duty. He asked her not to worry or feel sad. He said, by fetching water to them, I gave life to them, he said. And then when Swami exhibited his divine traits and he gave darshan as Shirdi Baba, the family got worried. And the villagers said that he was possessed by a spirit. So, and then they advised Bhagwan's family to call an exorcist. And so this gentleman comes and he cut the scalp of Bhagwan with a sharp instrument and put him to all sorts of torture. And Bhagwan was bleeding and his eyes were swollen. And Swami said, even though he was subjected to so much of pain and discomfort, he said, I remained silent and quiet. And at that time, Mother Ishwarama and Venkamaraju, they entered, and Mother could not see her son suffering. And so she asked them to stop all these activities. And then his father asked Bhagwan, he challenged him and he wanted to know who he really was. And Bhagwan had these flowers, and when he threw those flowers onto the floor, they formed into two words, Sai Baba. Swami said, Sa is divine, I is mother, and Baba is father. And then Swami also shared that one day he went to school and halfway through came home, he threw the books away and he said, Maya, our illusion has left me, my devotees are waiting for me. And he walked into their friend's garden, and where he sat under a tree and he taught Manasa Bhajare Guru Charanam. And then Bhagavan said it was Mother Ishwarama who asked him to come and be in Puttaparthi. And she also requested 3 boons from him. And she asked him to build a well to quench the thirst of all of the villagers, and to construct a school and a hospital for people in Puttaparthi and nearby villages. And Bhagavan said that Karanam Subbamma was a second mother to him, and she treated him as Balakrishna, and she served Swami, and she used to take care of his devotees. So when Swami shared his entire story, I was really in tears. I was moved, and I was touched, because the entire story is a part of our script. And I knew that Swami had sent his blessings and support to our SSC team of teachers, children, YAs, and the center members. And we all know that Sage Sukha shared the stories of Bhagavatam to Parikshit, but here Bhagavan himself shared the stories to all the devotees. And I also realized that a genuine prayer and an act of kindness and any selfless work is recognized by Bhagavan. And it is also acknowledged by him.
Oh, that's so beautiful. When our hearts are filled with love and devotion, Swami blesses us when the time is right. So Swami definitely surprises us in unique ways. What a treat and blessing you had, like to hear and see Swami narrate his own life stories. That is truly unique indeed. So now you have started writing books, and Swami has been your source of inspiration. As an author, how do you feel your connection to Swami now?
Bhagavan is God. He's our Swami. He's Bhagavan. So when he started to talk with us frequently, and he made us feel comfortable in his presence, he appeared as a friend, and he was a teacher. Then he's our divine parent. But over the period of time, I started to realize that I love this form. I continue to worship this form, but this outer form is also established as an inner presence within me.
Thank you for sharing those insights. And so as a child, you looked up to God as a friend and a guru who has been external. And just like now you shared, over time, you realize that the same outer form of God is also within you as your inner friend and presence. So that's so beautiful. And many SSC children, teachers, and parents are watching the program today and listening to the program. So what is your takeaway message to them, especially during these times?
Bhagavan says he's not Mrinmaya. His body is not made out of these earthly elements. Swami is Chinmaya, supreme consciousness. He's Sat Chit Ananda Swarupa, Sat existence, Chit consciousness, Ananda bliss. But he's taken this human form in order to mingle with us, to talk to us, and to guide us. And he's also here to light the lamp of love in our hearts and to awaken this divinity within each one of us. And now the time has arrived for all of us to reflect and introspect and realize the purpose of our life. Swami asks us to seek within and to turn within. And when we dive deep into the inner silence, and he provides the guidance, support, and strength and insights. So when we continue to do this sadhana, we soon emerge stronger, refined, and transformed. Bhagavan says he's all loving, he's all giving. He doesn't want anything from us. But he's happy to receive a gift from all of us. పువ్వులెన్నో తెచ్చి పూజలు చేసిన మెచ్చబోడు తాను పుచ్చుకొనడు. When you bring a variety of flowers and offer to him, he's not pleased, he won't accept it. హృదయ కమలమివ్వ సదయుడై గ్రహించు శాంతి ప్రేమదాయి సత్యసాయి. But when we offer the lotus of our hearts, he happily receives it. So let us turn to Bhagavan, our dear friend and the indweller of our heart. Pray to him to shower his grace, guidance, good health, knowledge, and wisdom on all of us. And may we all continue to be as loving instruments. May we in all beings be happy and free. May we in all beings be at peace. Om Shri Sai Ram. And before we conclude, and I wanted to share a song with all the children. One heart, one life, we're one family, one earth. One heart, one life, we're one family, one earth. And together we can make a difference in our world. Every creed and color, every boy and girl, all of creation, no separation. We are one heart. Even though it seems we're so far apart, many times we're feeling all alone. The truth of who we are has been here from the start. We are one heart, one life. We're one family on earth. One heart, one life. We're one family, one earth.
Wow, that was just simply beautiful. Thank you. And we are all one indeed. And thank you, Sarojini, for taking us on a journey from your childhood till now. We are all on a journey to find God within us. And thank you for sharing how over the years you were able to realize how God that was external to you is the same God that is within you. And I will wrap up with a quote from Swami that ties all what you said together. And so practice to make friendship with Sat, the eternal truth. Sat means being, the ever-present God. Worldly friends and enemies change with the passage of time, but Sat is the true and eternal friend. This friend, God, is always with you, in you, around you, above you, below you, and protecting you, just as the eyelid protects the eye. Truth is God, love is God, dharma, righteousness is God. When you worship God by following these principles, He will manifest Himself immediately. Love God wholeheartedly. Make friends with Him. You can achieve anything if you have God as your friend. And this is from the Divine Discourse of March 18th, 1999. Sai Ram.